The weather tomorrow will be hot as... And we will praise the Lord's return.
So be sure to call 1-800-SCAM-YOU now. We're now tuning into the BNP podcast. Welcome to an episode of the Bits and Pieces podcast. This is episode 54. I am Nick, your host, joining you with
Miguel,
Gus,
and Isaac.
And we're all here once again. The gang is back together.
Woo!
Yay.
Woo!
The boys are back in town, you may say.
The boys are back in town.
That's a
The
great
boys are back in town.
It is a great song. There's two versions of the song. There's a Don Henley song, and there's an Atari's version of the song. I prefer the Atari's. It's what were they, early 2000s, like pop punk post-hardcore band.
I thought you literally meant the game company for a second.
Why would they make songs?
Why wouldn't they make songs?
Why would they make songs? That's my question.
I don't know, for like their game studios, they might need like a soundtrack or something.
Anyway,
royalties.
We are the Bits and Pieces podcast, and we are here to bring you fun, joy, WTF headlines, and more. But first, what have you guys been up to this week? Okay, I'll start. Just 2 days ago, me and Miggy recorded a podcast episode. So that's already out on shoutengine.com/BNP podcast. The video version will be on YouTube at YouTube, and then you just search the BNP podcast and you'll find it. So we recorded that. We talked about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about E3.
Yeah.
We talked about Harry Potter and E3.
Harry Potter and E3, that's all that matters.
People
that's all that
buttering
matters.
themselves up.
Oh, yeah. God, if you haven't listened to that episode, you need to listen to it just for the absurdity of the WTF headlines. It was pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good episode. So that's what we did.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I talked about like my trip to Davis. So if you haven't gotten filled in on that, so you might want to.
All I've seen is pictures from Facebook.
Yeah, it was super cool. It was cool.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
It was neat.
It's actually fun because my god sister was graduating the same day.
Oh, from Davis for the same major at 2 because at 2:00. Was she getting animal science?
I'm not sure what she was doing. That's the thing.
Okay, because there was animal science overall was that's like toxicology, herbs. The one that studies herbology.
Okay.
Herbology.
That's a Harry Potter.
That's a Harry Potter thing.
No, you can study stuff. You can study
Yeah, but
plants
that's botany, isn't it?
No, they said there was some with an H.
Herbology.
Herbology. Okay.
But that's a Harry Potter.
It was something
That's
with an
Harry
H. I
Potter.
shit you not, Isaac. I have video of it.
Horticulture?
Horticulture. There you go.
Oh,
It was
Herbology.
horticulture. Yeah,
Herbology is a
Have you guys
Harry
ever
Potter
looked at those
subject.
classes? That, like,
genealogy,
have
animal
nothing to do-
genealogy, or some bullshit. You know,
I don't know. I think.
Yeah,
either-
I was about to say, no, Nick, it can't be herbology.
it is
Yeah.
herbology.
Like,
Have you not played Resident Evil?
I don't know if you heard. Like, I guess I don't know if it's USC or UCLA. They have a
Defense
class
Against
on
the Dark
Batman
Arts.
or something like that.
On what?
Batman, like a full-on class.
Well, I had a class on X-Men.
Yeah, you see, it's like
That wasn't
There's like-
X-Men.
wasn't
That
it
was
with the
extraordinary.
special-
It wasn't
Children.
it wasn't X-Men. It was Gifted and Extraordinary Children. And
There
I
you
was
go.
just like X-Men.
X-Men.
And then the teacher was like,
Yeah.
"We're not talking about X-Men children. What we were talking about is Gifted and Extraordinary Children." And I was just like, "So you're not talking about like the guy who can stick spoons and shit to his chest?" And she was just like, "No." And I was like, "Damn." So after class, like it ended up being about like autism spectrum, ADD, that sort of thing, and then that's Gifted. And then they moved on to Extraordinary Children, which was like a small sliver of the class. She said traditionally it is taught half and half, but there are Extraordinary Children. What they consider them is having like a IQ over a certain amount, and then kids who are born like with like abnormal physical attributes in things that we wouldn't normally deem like mutations. Well, they are mutations, but things that we wouldn't deem like weird. You know what I mean? Like they can actually lift a lot more as a baby
Spoon
than normal
fingers.
kids. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Like
kid that had
they
cat
have
eyes
more
or whatever?
strength, more
In
natural
China?
strength than other people.
He had what?
Cat eyes.
Cat eyes.
Yeah, like
Yeah, so stuff like that. We were talking about things like that, but it was not about X-Men, which I was disappointed personally.
Shucks.
It could
Must be a DC fan.
someday.
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 I can't bring that up. Okay, I will.
What?
that cheeky smile.
When I was at the bar with my my friends' brothers, we were talking about I think it was with them. I think it was with them.
Right.
I don't want to be quoted on that. It was a long day. Somewhere with somebody, I was talking about mutations, and then they were like, did you know that you know how and maybe it was one of you guys, because I actually remember driving around in Riverside and they were like, did you know that people with Down syndrome, they have mutation in the chromosomes, right?
Right.
They are actually like the next sect of human evolution. Was that with any of you?
No.
No.
No,
Okay,
I don't
then it
think so.
might have been with one of them.
Okay.
And I remember saying, do you remember the plot of X-Men to whoever this person I was with? And they were like, yeah. I go, remember when we wanted to kill the mutants? And they were like, yeah. I go, don't call it the next form of human evolution, because that's going to be my next example. And then I laughed, but I was like, if that were true that is the next form of human evolution, does that mean that something happened with evolution that we went backwards? Like, no disrespect to anybody that has a family member that has Down syndrome or does themselves, but Down syndrome comes with a loss of mental capacity, right?
Well, I mean, in some cases, there's a lot of like physical other stuff that happens too, but basically, it's not going backwards. It's more just like
To the side. It's to the side, right? Or right? Is that how they consider evolution? It's like boop, boop, and then we just dissected, right? We went different
No,
paths.
because when you separate like that, it's termed to speciate. So like,
So we just went.
one species suddenly becomes two. That's not the case with people with Down syndrome.
So we're jumping a ravine, and
I would describe it more as like, it's a little hiccup.
like a speed bump.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, it's a speed bump. Got it. Thanks, Isaac. Confirmed. Anyway, does anybody else want to share what they did this week?
Got rid of an insect, or trying to get rid of an insect infestation. Yeah, bugs. Really bad with the summer. So, trying to get rid of them on your own is pretty difficult. Trying to get rid of them in the middle of summer, even more so.
I can bet.
Yeah. It's not fun.
No, definitely.
I have a station of mice in my house.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, so like regular mouse traps won't work, and then basically we got down to the whole, sticky traps and those little plastic traps. The only thing that really worked were sticky traps, and they're this special, I don't know, liquid, and it really like attracts them like in seconds. But mice are pretty smart to the point where like, oh, okay, I know this smells pretty bad because all my brothers and sisters just died from that.
Okay, just one quick question, Gus. You have Yorkies, right?
No, they only go after gophers. They will not go after those mice for some weird
Yeah,
reason.
but they're terriers. It should be instinct.
I have something to add
Go
to
for
that.
it.
Jack saw a mouse, and he ran after that motherfucker.
Yeah.
But he lost him, because then he was like, the rat ran in circles around Jax and took off, and Jax like got confused, and he was just like, wait, where'd he go? Well, where did he go? And then he got like really mad. Yeah, so that happened.
My backyard has a whole bunch of holes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all from gophers, but the reason
Yeah,
that
that's
they're
like
so
mine.
wide is because Halo and Rella have been digging down to get them and bite their heads off.
Yeah.
And then, Halo, he'll chase like lizards around the tree. He actually almost caught a bird,
Wow.
like flying away.
I bet he's proud of that.
Remember
probably is,
when
yeah.
Jack's got a
Yeah,
downed bird already?
Yeah, Jax was so proud of himself. He killed a bird that was already down. He was like super proud of
He
himself.
was like
but,
looking
things happen.
left and right. He's like, did anybody see that? Okay.
Yeah,
Hey, killed
look.
bird.
Yeah, I killed this bird. What's up?
Oh, what about his babies?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
his cat babies, man. That was a day.
That's when evolution changed forever.
Yeah. Anyway, okay.
All right.
Well then. All right. We will be moving on to our WTF topics. So we will see you, the audience, after the break.
What? Huh? Are you reading this right now? Did I read that correctly? What the f? You know what? Whatever. We're running with the story anyway. WTF Headlines by the Bits and Pieces Podcast.
So here we are back again with our WTF topics for this week. So, you guys know Pope Francis, right? Pope
Yeah.
Francis.
Yeah.
Pope Francis of Assisi, Mr. Badass. Pope Francis today had suggested that most marriages are invalid if done in the Catholic Church. He said, most marriages are invalid in the Catholic Church due to people not understanding the idea of permanence and commitment. People that argued that had just traded in their phones for a new phone.
Wait.
Okay, I think I understand what you're saying.
It's ironic because people really don't understand the idea of permanence. People lose their houses, people lose their cars, people lose their kids.
But they
People throw their
do have
kids
some
into-
concept of permanence, I think. It's like
Anyway,
falling face.
you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yes.
We are not the only one.
Why am I hearing it through my microphone?
I'm hearing it through your laptop.
What is this?
I don't know. I'm having. Creeps.
It's something from either.
Oh shit! It's a
Sony?
commercial. Hold on.
Ah.
Ah! All right.
Bloopers.
Okay, that's for a different WTF topic. So we're not
Chill. Calm down.
Anyway, yeah. So Pope Francis invalidated a bunch of people's marriages. That's pretty
That's
fun.
nice.
Yeah.
Well,
He just that has to be the largest scale divorcing of people I've ever seen or
Yeah,
heard of.
that's what I thought. I was just like, holy shit. Okay.
he the savage.
but death and taxes.
The
are
real
permanent.
savage.
Okay. Next topic.
'Kay.
A deli meat truck and a bread truck met today in a wonderful molding of truck crashes and made the biggest sandwich ever. So in New Jersey today, a deli truck and a bread truck collided and delayed multiple passengers. Heavy delays. Let's see. It collided on their interstate, which kind of sucks. It says the tractor trailers were traveling southbound at around 6 a.m. Traffic was delayed for several miles, but one lane was closed. No injuries were reported. However, everybody got lunch that day.
Really?
Wait, for
That's a
real?
good day.
Ah.
Aw, what?
Are you kidding me? Come on.
So passengers on the bread and meat truck?
There were no passengers other than the drivers, but I mean,
Because it
Yeah.
said passengers, and I was like, oh,
But
Just
I,
the-
I was
just the
thinking like
picture.
everyone
Just
that
the-
was inconvenienced
like-
could have like gone up and gotten the sandwich.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
the
what if, like-
picture just shows like tons of bread and just ham.
dude, just like run up, grab everything you can, and then dip.
Yeah.
That's
Just
what I
jump
would
in
do.
your car and
This is
take
like-
off.
I would just stand there and just eat it.
Dude, that'd be lit.
Yeah.
Just get the stuff on
They
top.
can't sell it
Then
anymore.
They
obviously.
can't sell it
Just
anymore.
just eat the stuff off the top. It's good.
I mean, you could do
Mm,
that,
It's probably
yeah.
most
Didn't
of it
touch
is
it.
packaging, anyways, right?
Huh?
Most of the stuff that was probably.
It looked like a lot of the meat and bread had gotten torn out of its packaging.
Oh, okay.
It's not
Yeah,
bad.
it is supposed to be packaged. It's not like it's not just a truck full of like bread loaves.
Yeah.
No, it is packaged. and
What
it's
is
not
Maybe
just
it's funny.
yeah. But I mean, they're packaged in plastic.
You know what I feel like someone would do is make like an animation of like bread and meat falling apart, but kind of morphing into a sandwich, like a little cartoon
It's
animation.
the
of it.
light sail. You think they were like low key, like
It's the light sail.
Like
light
carrying
sail.
the light
Throwback
sail?
to Bill Nye.
Yeah,
Wow.
the Bill Nye fucking
Oh my.
meme they got made with the bread. Remember flying through space? Yeah,
That was a bad day for the light sail that day.
yeah. The light
Right.
sail did not sail well that day.
That little picture, it was just him on a piece of bread, right?
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
basically shooting the meat away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty much the
Oh.
entire. That was just the meme.
I didn't ever think about that when
He's
I made
jumping on
it.
each bread that fell out of that truck and shooting all the meat from getting onto it.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, that was just
Now
that
you
meme.
The more you know.
The more you know. All right. Next WTF topic. Headline. So, Isaac, I have a question for you.
Okay.
If you're a teacher
All right.
and I have a donut and I'm your student
Okay.
and I bite it into the form of a gun, let's say an AR-15. Let's say I bite the donut into the form of an AR-15
Okay.
and I point it at you and I go nuts. Do I then get in trouble or not?
I think I'd have to applaud you first for making a round donut with a hole in it into an
It was a maple
AR-15.
bar.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
never
That
mind.
makes more sense.
Okay.
Well, still, anyway,
Well,
I think I'd applaud you for being so talented, and then I might do the whole like "you got me" kind of thing.
I would
But
have been
don't
like,
think.
you said go nuts, so I'm gonna go nuts. type of
well,
thing.
And then he squeezes the trigger. and he kills him.
a Maryland judge would disagree with you.
Oh, really?
A Maryland judge has upheld the suspension of an elementary school boy who chewed his breakfast pastry into the shape of a gun and pretended to shoot classmates with it,
I remember this.
supporting a finding that the boy disrupted his class and that his family was not denied due process as it appealed what has been known as the Pop-Tart case.
What?
it
It's a
says-
Yeah, it was
Pop-Tart?
actually a Pop Tart.
It says Andrew Dale County Circuit Court Judge Ronald A. Silkworth ruled that that's Ann whatever county. Okay. So anyway, Silkworth has ruled that the school system could reasonably consider the boys' actions in March 2013 were disruptive, and that a suspension was appropriately used as a corrective tool to address this disruption based on the student's past history of escalating behavioral issues.
Okay.
They suspended him for 2 days. So they didn't suspend him for the Pop-Tart being a gun. They suspended him for being disruptive.
Okay.
But I remember when the original story ran, he did suspend him for it being a gun.
Oh.
Yeah, because
Then
usually
they
when
appealed it.
people disrupt class, they usually either send him out or just like, please stop. And then
It just says he has a history of escalating issues. So I don't know who's in the wrong here.
I mean, without context,
I mean,
it sounds ridiculous.
It does. But I mean, isn't it the parents' fault for sending him with a Pop-Tart to school? That's a dangerous weapon of mass destruction upon our young kids' attention spans.
Was it an automatic?
It was an automatic Pop-Tart. And look, I mean, like, kids' attention spans are short as it is, right? And I mean,
And
then
loaded.
you just send a kid with a Pop-Tart to school, and all hell breaks loose. You know,
We've seen-
a Pop-Tart is like a blank canvas. You can chew that into any shape you want. He could have chewed it into a dick and just threw the dick at some kid's face and just been like, "Eat a dick." Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
come on.
That's
Like,
a good
shoot it
idea.
into Jesus like praise.
That's a good idea, dude.
Exactly. So I mean, real talk, like,
Watch out.
Wow.
so
We've seen Pop-Tarts as a danger in the past.
He could have chewed it up into like a Mickey Mouse and then get sued.
yeah, he could have done that too.
If
Yeah.
you put a video of it.
So I mean, realistically, it's
dangerous.
Yeah, it is a dangerous thing. I don't think you should don't send your kids with Pop-Tarts to school ever.
Ever.
Especially
That also goes for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yes, please do not send peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Those are even worse because they're sticky and they get everywhere. And then when they get in someone's hair and someone gets mad and then you get suspended and then your parents are like, "Oh, why did the peanut butter get into their hair?" And it's just like, it's just a bad deal.
Just don't give your kids lunches.
Just don't eat.
Just don't send your kids food.
Why
Just
do
don't
they even
send your
serve
kids
us
with
food anymore?
Look, why did Michelle Obama fight to have more nutritious meals in school if parents were just going to send their kids with snacks anyway?
Yeah.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
It's discrediting her work, her hard work,
Yeah, her campaign
her campaign at
to
that,
end obesity.
and to end mac and cheese in schools
Unless
and
that was
Galaxy pizzas.
I
Dude.
was.
It's a war on
Red
Galaxy
Baron
pizzas as far as
pizzas.
I'm concerned.
The Red Baron.
The Red Baron. I used to like the Galaxy ones.
The
The silver
Galaxy
circle
ones
ones.
are good.
Those were a lot better. I like those.
Do
Because
you
they were more
remember when we would
fake.
get the mashed potatoes and whatever gravy
Gravy?
and stuff?
Oh,
Back in
for
Pacific
Thanksgiving?
Huh?
For Thanksgiving?
No, for like almost every day or something, or like
Oh,
every once a
yeah,
week.
yeah. Well, because you had to get like your carbs. So I mean,
Yeah. I was like,
Starch.
Yeah.
That's important.
yeah.
I like the fake mac and cheese. I don't know why.
The fake mac and
I used
cheese.
to, I used to like the hamburgers.
It's just like one ingredient away from being plastic.
Yeah.
Basically.
I used to really like the hamburgers at school.
Oh yeah.
Like hamburgers are really good.
That was like the one time I was like, this burger doesn't.
Because
need
like
ketchup.
yeah, frozen burgers are like I don't know.
Which ones?
There's
The
moments
ones that
when, like,
came in like little packets of two?
No.
No,
Well,
those
those
are
were
good
good
too.
too. But I actually like the actual hamburgers that were like just frozen
Oh.
patties grilled on the
Yeah.
grill, like
I remember those.
you would do at home.
Right.
Those are really good. I like those because then they were good.
Then they switched to the
But
the wheat.
little, yeah, the wheat buns.
Gross.
We weren't in school when they switched to wheat buns, to be honest. So
Yeah. We
sorry
got white.
about that. We got white buns. Yeah, and look at us. Which generation's fat? It's your generation. There's a lot
Shoot.
of. There was a lot of. I'm just gonna say this.
Put this out
All
there.
I'm saying. I'm just saying. There were a lot of little, and I'm not. I'm just saying. This is just the facts.
Just
there were
saying.
There were a lot of little fat kids at your school for promotion. Just the facts.
Dude,
I
we
mean-
didn't use computers until like what, 4th grade?
No, actually, go back. No, we did. We used computers in like 2nd grade,
I didn't.
1st and 2nd grade.
I remember using it in like preschool, but that was like learning ABCs and
Yeah,
stuff.
no,
Maybe it was 4th or 5th.
we were using computer. I was using a computer in like 1st and 2nd grade. We were playing video games on them.
Okay.
Oregon Trail.
Yeah, we were playing Oregon Trail and there were Carmen San Diego and all that bullshit. We were playing that like in
I
1st
think
and
even
2nd
Math
grade,
Blaster
dude.
too.
Yeah, we were playing those games in that like around that age. There was a space one. Was that one?
That was that one.
Oh
What
yeah,
about,
that was.
what
fun.
about Mist?
We didn't play Mist.
Yeah. The only difference is we were playing educational games that were actually fun.
Yeah, oh, and you know what they should teach now is actually playing Oregon Trail, like the zombie one. The zombie one is what they should play.
It teaches you life skills like who's Who are you keeping? And
Now we may not have that, but Donald Trump's gonna be president.
Remember when I bought that game on my iPhone and I just walked around all day, every day in high school playing Oregon Trail on my phone and like naming everybody different people, and then like if I had to kill them or some point, like in class, I would just be like, "Oh, I killed you at lunch. I'm sorry." You had dysentery. What was I supposed to do, Jose?
or didn't you kill Kristen at one point or something?
Yeah, she had dysentery too. I was like, I can't feed you. I'm literally feeding you for nothing because I am really far from like the end, you know, the CDC. I'm really far. If I get there, they'll save you, but I'm like 4 days out and you're going to last 3. So am I going to feed you for those 3 days? I'm just going to kill you. And she got really upset.
Sacrificed me.
I sacrificed you once too before. I mean, okay, I did once keep everybody safe and I tried really hard. But it was really hard to keep everybody safe. Like I figured out that I could beat the game consistently if I killed one person. Like right off the bat, I had to kill one person because that would balance out my food.
So just one person had to get the bullet in the beginning?
Like immediately, yeah. I was like, as we were walking towards the car, it was just like pop.
Yeah.
So
it's like, yeah, I'll take your hand. Give the hand. Pop.
Yeah, that sort of thing. It was just like you know, the Lannisters send their regards and then pop.
Damn.
Yeah.
Would it be someone like that you? So you have all your friends and you're like, well, I don't really care.
It would be someone that like. It would be someone that like begged to be a character in the game, and then I was just like, I don't really want them, so I just kill them anyway.
Yeah.
So if that was you,
I'm glad
I
never asked.
Yeah, you never asked. Isaac never asked. That's why Isaac always lived.
Isaac didn't know.
Isaac didn't.
I think I asked like, how'd you kill me? I want to know.
No, it's just like I shot you. Yeah.
Find something creative.
Did I have a
You had
good
a
death
hero.
or did I have a torturous death?
Dude, a heroic death.
Yeah.
Always.
Holding back the zombies.
Yeah. Shoot. Freaking.
He went missing and then 3 days later we found him again.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
And on the third day, he rose.
And on the third day, he did rise.
Yeah, just like Jesus. All right. Well, that has been it for our WTF topics. If you have any WTF topics that you would like us to talk about, please send those to the Bits and Pieces Podcast at gmail.com. That's the Bits and Pieces Podcast at gmail.com. And you can also comment those on Instagram or our Facebook if you have any WTF topics to suggest.
Or on YouTube.
Or on YouTube. You can also comment on YouTube. You can also comment on Shout Engine, too. You can type a little comment at the bottom. Yeah. But YouTube, you can send it to YouTube. Or you can send it to one of us personally if you have any suggestions on WTF topics. Yeah. But all right. So our next main topic was... Okay. We have 3 today. Or we have 2 or 3 today. It was... Okay. This is actually, we're going to do Kingdom Hearts numbering. We're going to do main topic 1, then we're going to do main topic 1.5, and then we're going to do 2, and then if I think we have a third one, then we're going to do 3. The 1.5 is going to be the one where we pick one of the games to talk about, and then that's it. Okay. So yeah, anyway, we'll see you back in the next topic.
Who's a pretty girl? Who's a pretty? You're a pretty girl. Go get the toy pretty girl. Oh, hi everyone. I didn't notice you there. It's me, Deadpool. So, now I found out that if you go support Red Nose Day, you get a free rental, which you could rent my movie. It's amazing. But they're a fucking scam. Don't do it. Fuck those motherfuckers. Go support Extra Life. Brought to you by the Beats and Pieces Podcast. I love you guys. I just want to tickle you all day long.
And welcome back to the Bits and Pieces Podcast. We hope you enjoyed that break. Audio podcast, as always, gets a music break there. Video podcast, I have a funny one that I want to put there. If you've seen our I Support Extra Life video, you know what's coming. Anyway, okay. So recently, in Orlando, an alligator attacked, and unfortunately, a young toddler was fatally drowned. It was fatally drowned in the incident. The alligator, in my opinion, didn't kill the kid. The kid died from drowning, caused by the alligator. That's just all I'm saying.
Indirectly responsible?
Indirectly responsible is what I feel. The alligator was just doing what alligators do. The human child was being an idiot because the parents were being idiots.
So, Darwin Award?
Yeah. Okay. Behind that was the zoo incident. Where was that? Cleveland?
Cincinnati.
So in Cincinnati, Kid squeezed through bars, flipped over something and fell into the gorilla pen. Gorilla grabbed him. Was just kind of like standing there with him, standing there like sponge guard, just kind of like freaking out. And then he ran across with the kid, hidden, dragging him through the water and shit.
I think one of the things that probably caused the male gorilla to run was probably the reason it was getting scared by people yelling.
Mm-hmm. We'll get to that real quick. Before that, you guys had told me of another incident where another child in a different zoo a while back, probably, what do you guys think, like 10, 15 years ago or what?
It was somewhere in the 80s, I think.
Okay, so the 80s, so about 20 to 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And you guys said that...
So what happened is, kid falls in, yada, yada, yada. A female gorilla comes and kind of takes care of the kid and runs away from the other gorillas and kind of hugs it and kind of in a ball, was getting hit by the other gorillas so they can go and kill the kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was he...
No, it was
the child was knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so
recently the child met that same gorilla.
Nice.
Yeah, because they never killed that gorilla.
So we have 3 separate similar incidents. 2 of them caused by animals in captivity. Not caused. They contained animals in captivity in the incident. One was a wild animal, native to that land.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So my question is, there was a lot of complaints in the 2 recent incidents about how much responsibility the parents had and what we should, like whether negligence charges were to be brought on them, and then how much responsibility the companies had in keeping those people safe. Right. Now, I don't feel there's a ton of argument for the companies keeping the people safe because there's overseeing committees that oversee these locations, right, and then deem them, that's safe. That's safe enough, right, is what they say.
Yeah.
So, ideally, both of these institutions passed these
the
safety protocols or whatever, right? And were deemed safe. And to my knowledge, other than some dude just randomly out of the blue coming out, and I never heard this reported before, he said he was chased by an alligator at Disney World, but it wasn't reported to them 2 years ago when it happened. So he just said it recently, which is something weird that I don't feel you should keep from anybody. So I'm not sure how valid that is or how true it is. I want to give it the benefit of the doubt that it was true, but at the same time, I feel that he said he was chased in that area, the Seven Seas Lagoons, by a alligator. But I mean, it wasn't reported 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So why it was reported now and not 2 years ago is kind of weird. Like, I feel that he's not telling the truth. But at the same time, like, I don't want to say that he's lying. So, I mean, he could be telling the truth and just didn't report it for whatever. Or did report it and it didn't get reported.
No.
It didn't get, written down.
Now, the whole thing about, the Disney World, it's built pretty much on the...
Swamp land.
The grassland and all that other stuff where they're having
alligators.
And I think I remember when I went many, many years ago. I was like in first grade. I went with my grandparents to Disney World. And you know that, what is that steamboat or the pirate ship they usually have in that area? I think I saw little baby alligators. Like, they'll be in the water. Mm-hmm. So it's not hard for them to get in, or someone's dumping them, or something crazy is happening.
They probably get in through the waterways because the park is connected to the waterways of
so
the state.
They probably they obviously know, or it's just hard to know that they're in there because the water is usually pretty murky anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So
which is why it says no swimming.
And someone's obviously feeding them if they're living in there for so long.
And now, alligators in this instance are not considered pests, right? So they can't just kill them.
There are companies like little gator companies that they will remove them if you.
They will remove them.
Yeah, but the Gator Boys from Animal Planet.
But Disney can't just kill them.
Yeah,
that's illegal, and they have to go through proper channels to go get them removed because you technically built your park on top of where
their habitat.
Their habitat. So that's where that interferes, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm sure deep down in some sort of contract there's something that says you can't remove them unless they're removed by state and wildlife people. And
I remember that, I don't know if you heard about
because of that.
There's an abandoned area of Disney World because there's some bacteria. So they've gone through stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
and this is the other thing. So, I mean, I know a lot of people are complaining they should, there should be by a lot of people I mean people commenting on the internet, keyboard warriors, if you will. There's people saying that there should be signs that say alligators do not swim.
Yeah.
However, I counter that with a couple months ago around it was last year, roughly around July 4th. in Florida, again, there was a drunken man whose friends dared him to go swimming in a lake
Yeah,
where
I
it
think I
said
remember this.
no swimming, alligators, death likely was the full sign.
Right.
He still went swimming, and guess what? He died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The alligator, but this is the funny part. The alligator bit him, dragged him, then let him go. Then I think he started beating on the alligator, and the alligator was like, "Fuck you," and ate
Yeah.
him.
Killed.
Once you mess with it, that gator's coming
Yeah,
after you.
because it realized it was a human. It was like, "Oh fuck, all right," and then it killed him after that because it was just like, "Oh man, f you." So even still, there was a sign that said, "Do not swim. Alligators present. Death likely," and he still did it. So realistically, no swimming is like, I mean, just don't swim. It tells you not to do it.
I propose that
We should kill all
Disneyland-
toddlers.
No.
Oh, okay.
Disneyland should solve its problem by, instead of asking for state and wildlife to come in, just go ahead and get another dangerous animal. You could go ahead and put a whole bunch of hippopotami in there. They don't get along with alligators.
No,
Yeah, but they will attack people as well, and they're more aggressive than gators and crocodiles.
Yeah, but you'll get rid of a lot more idiots that way.
and
too.
actually they did that in Anaheim. They had a rat problem, so they brought in a bunch of cats, and now they have a cat problem.
Yeah.
So now you bring in a
But
lot
The
of dogs.
literally, this is the problem. The cats won't leave.
Yeah.
That's the issue. They brought in like a couple, like I don't know. It was only like in the tens of cats, and then all of a sudden a year later they had like 40 cats there, and they were like, "This is a problem."
Yeah.
So they tried to remove them and get them adopted, and then they couldn't get them adopted fast enough, and then just the cats multiplied. Now they just have a cat problem, and they're just like, whatever. At least we don't have rats.
Yeah.
But there's cats in the middle of the night.
Yeah, because they
don't bother
They were
you
only
anyway.
there.
No,
to
they don't
get rid of
bother
the
you.
rats.
I've only ever seen, to be honest, maybe 10 cats in my entire lifetime of going to Disneyland. But my dad said when he worked there at night, he would see all the cats all the time. They just like walk around. Just the cats would just walk around. They don't bug anybody. They don't even meow or growl at anybody.
Wait,
They just kinda walk
Anaheim
around.
or
Anaheim,
specifically
Disneyland.
inside of Disneyland?
No, inside of
Inside.
Disneyland. The Disneyland Resort has a cat problem.
Wow.
Yeah, because before they had
Are they,
rat
are they
problems.
just hiding all day or
Yes.
something?
Yeah.
A
They
cat
hide in
problem
like
is better than a
the
rat
catacombs
problem.
and stuff of the park.
So,
Yeah, there's like special areas that they can get through or whatever.
Yeah, so
Kinda
they
like-
kind of built something so the cats can stay there, so at least they don't go bug people.
Right.
But they do have a cat problem
Yeah.
at night.
But it's funny, like I've heard people like they're always looking for a cat because they don't really see them in the day, and you'll get that
Yeah.
rare occurrence of them in the day.
Yeah.
But because there's so many people, they're not gonna come up because
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna get scared or whatever.
So, Miggy, would you swim in? You saw the water. First
Yeah.
off, first
it was
off,
pretty gross, man.
there are so many like icky shit in Florida water. Florida itself just seems like the worst state. Like it's so gross. Like it's fucking humid. The water's green. There's algae. The wetlands are just gross. There's alligators. They have fucking squids in the water. It's just like
humidity.
It's funny, but Florida's pretty dangerous when it comes down to wildlife. Like I don't know if you've seen like
they have spiders that will just
Yeah.
kill you, and they're not black widows. They're these big, like, gross things.
Yeah, but by that extension, you could also say that Alaska is a terrible place to be because they've got bears.
But
Yeah.
it's not gross or icky in
Okay.
Alaska, is what I'm saying. Like,
So-
why would you get in the water
the
that's
only
not the
real
beach
problem
walking
in
in
around
Florida?
Alaska is Sarah Palin. That's the only problem
Yeah,
you're gonna
yeah,
run
yeah.
into.
But what I'm saying about Florida is the
That's the
water
only
is
thing
so
Well, I mean,
gross. Like, why would you get in the
by
water?
extension,
Like,
you could say, like, walking through Alaska, you can step in bear scat, and that could be pretty
but
gross, too.
you can step in dog poop here. It's the same thing. What I'm saying is like
There is
the Santa
dangerous-
Ana River. There are people that swim in the Santa Ana River. That is so gross. That's like there's trash, there's dirt, there's like gross dirt, like with tons of
water
bacteria.
plant
There's
right there.
homeless people. There's the sewage treatment plant right there. Why would you do that? Like that's the equivalent of getting in the water where
Yeah.
it says no swimming because there's alligators, there's bacteria, there's algae, there's shit that's gonna make you sick.
Yeah.
You're likely gonna die. You're gonna get AIDS from the water in Florida. Do not swim.
Yeah, Florida is a pretty dangerous place when
Sit
it comes
on
to
a
water.
needle.
Do you guys watch Shark Week or whatever?
Yeah, sometimes.
So I don't know if there was an episode where they showed the hammerheads, and they swim in like
They swim
packs.
really close to
And-
the beach.
They swim so close, and it's just a giant pack of them, and they're like I think they're number 2 sharks for human attacks.
Yeah.
Number 1 is bull sharks, which live in rivers, lakes, and ocean, which is like
Hey, Marco
the heck?
Rubio. Marco Rubio. Did you know that climate change is real? Douchebag. You're losing beach property in those hammerhead sharks. Sharknado is gonna be real in 30 years, guaranteed.
Dude, a freaking hammerhead shark was, what is it? Picturized or had a picture of it here in California.
Yeah,
They live in the East Coast and they're migrating here.
because the water's getting warmer.
Yeah. I was like,
Soon we're gonna
Damn
have
it.
them
and then,
pretty much like everywhere.
dude,
Yeah.
great whites are coming closer now, and they're usually getting attacked by orcas, and they're usually farther down and stuff, but now they're, migrating like crazy, so they're getting killed off and coming closer
Exactly.
to shore.
Now what we need to do is we need to bring a bunch of orcas on the shore.
We don't want
That
another
way-
SeaWorld
yeah.
problem.
No, that way we can keep
Hey.
the sharks away.
I like
The
SeaWorld.
thing is
Okay.
great whites, they don't really, they have like the least amount of attacks, but, if a surfer kind of looks like a
a seal.
Okay, the
A
problem with the
seal
surfer
or-
is the thing that's on the surfboard.
Yeah,
The
it's
fin.
The fin, their feet hanging off. It's basically an animal that they're used to seeing, and they're like, "That's an animal, so my eyes are gonna go covered, and I'm gonna shoot up and hit it." Oh wait, it's a human.
Oh, whoops.
I'm gonna let go of you now.
Exactly.
bleeding.
That's what's interesting is they let go. Very few animal. When someone gets bitten by a shark or something, or even killed, it's just like, yeah, there's like a chunk of flesh missing, but they don't get eaten. They don't get eaten by the animal.
Is it because we taste bad?
It
That's
might be
one of the
because we
things.
taste bad, and then because they're just like, you're not what I wanted,
Yeah.
and then they just leave. You know what I mean? So
It's like I ordered a taco.
yeah, I ordered a
got a
taco.
burrito
I got
instead.
yeah,
I did
got
not
a,
ask
I got a,
for a beach bum.
yeah, I got a human in my fish taco. I'm disgusted.
I did not want hair.
I did not want fat. I wanted seal blubber.
Exactly. So I mean, yeah. So you have that problem.
Yeah.
Right.
So now I don't like to victim blame. However, the circumstances of the alligator thing are really weird.
Yeah.
It was at night, in the middle of the night. Now people are saying that in the summer Disney does do movie nights near the beach of their resorts.
Do they show Jaws
They will now. They will now.
or Piranha 3D?
Yeah, but they have the movies right on a screen, and everybody sits and watches them.
Which those are cool.
That's cool, but I don't know if it was on that night that they had a movie night.
Right.
But it's nighttime. Your kid is walking. Ideally, there's not just a little tiny like 2-foot like thing that just says no swimming. It's probably like this big sign that says no swimming, and then there's probably like a fence, to block you from going right there onto the sand and in the water.
You're right.
The kid was over the barrier, right? Even if it's only like 3 or 4 feet tall, the kid was over the barrier. Where were you sitting
Yeah.
when your kid walked off?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many things that I don't like to victim blame. I know kids walk off. Kids just walk off from
It's
you.
really annoying.
I
like,
get that. And it takes like a second for you to lose track of your kid. But there's water. There's a sign that says no swimming. The water is gross. There's tons of strangers around. If it's the movie night, why would you not pay attention to your kid for that split second to have him walk off when there's so many strangers that the kid could have not gotten eaten? This could be a very radically different story. It could have been during movie night at Disney World, kid gets kidnapped and raped.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
that could be a
Disney World.
radically
It
different
can
story.
happen, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this could be a radically different story. And now I would be talking about, oh, Disney allows rapists at the park. Disney does this. Disney does that. It's not entirely Disney's fault. These
They don't
animals
have
are going to
power.
go where they're going to go. That is a man-made lake, but it's connected to waterways that are connected to the regular
The original
rivers and
source
stuff.
Yeah.
These animals are going to go where they're going to go.
And likely they've lived there their entire lives because maybe passing through a grate they passed through as a baby, and then next thing they know,
they
they're
were
too
there.
big to get out.
Yeah.
These are the
so,
one animals that lived with dinosaurs.
So-
they own this whole planet technically.
Yeah, so-
along with sharks.
So I mean, like, realistically, there's only so much that can be done. The other half has to be done by parents too.
Right.
You know? And I mean, this kid was too small, unfortunately, to be able to teach him, they don't go near the water, don't do this. But then as a parent, this is why I know I won't be a parent unless I know I can responsibly either A, feel I can write this kid off if something bad happens, or B, ensure that nothing bad will happen.
Wow.
But there's also nothing you can do to ensure that nothing bad will happen. You have to just be so attentive. And that's
Yeah.
why, with
Never take an easy breath again.
Never take an easy breath again. And hopefully, you have a spouse or a significant other that can help you raise this child because,
Yeah.
hey, here's Timmy, here's Chance, I'm gonna go get something. Here's the child.
Right.
Okay.
Don't F it up.
Yeah, don't fuck it up. And you walk, go get your thing, come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where's Chance?
But it is unfortunate that a child lost their life.
Because these companies, there's so much they can do. Basically, it's when it comes down to taking
But the
care of a
company
child,
is also
it's
it's
your
your
job.
responsibility. The company's just there to say, there's bad stuff in that water,
Yeah.
no swimming. They are not there to police your child.
Yeah,
That's
the
you.
last thing people want is to see like guys with M16 sitting on catwalks above the water, right?
That's Italy.
No, it would. So, this probably isn't likely, but are they native to Florida?
Alligators? Oh, the people? No, they're from out of state.
Because if they were, that's even worse. Because you live in a state that is known for gators. But
Like, you
because
already
they're not,
know
that's
what's out there.
understandable. But
Yeah.
at the same time, you should know if you're
Yeah,
going
Florida's
to this new-
known for old people, oranges, gators, and
Cocaine?
I guess.
Florida has an
And
amusement
Cuban
park
immigrants.
called Gatorland.
It's true.
Like legit.
Yeah.
Gatorland. They have
Gatorland.
gator
Now,
steaks.
real quick,
What
before we
the
run out of
They are
time,
more marsh than regular,
on the gorilla one.
Right.
Now, we've covered the responsibility of companies a lot with the gator thing, but with the gorilla one, this is what I noted on that video. That gorilla was really scared, but
Yeah.
it wasn't hurting the kid.
Yeah.
Now, taking the anecdotal evidence from what you guys brought from the other story, I propose this.
Now, the difference is that story had a female.
The story did have a female
And
gorilla.
this one was a silverback gorilla, which is obviously an alpha male, which
Yeah.
they are known for. If they destroy another alpha male, they have to kill the other children of that alpha male.
Okay.
But this one was trying to protect it, but it really doesn't know how to.
Okay, so that's what I was noting. Now, a lot of people were saying, why didn't they try a tranquilizer dart first?
Right.
You can't, because I would assume this is what went down. You have a team of like shooters, right? Like
Right.
like Jurassic Park, they had that team of people on the top of the thing. They were like, "Can you make the shot?" And they were like, "Yeah, we got it." So it's like, here's a tranquilizer dart. Can you get it in such a way that it'll knock out the gorilla now? No.
It takes a while.
Do you feel confident in that it'll knock him out before he hurts the kid because we're going to piss him off? No. Can you kill him with one shot? Yes. Do it. Because this kid fucking fell in, right? Like an idiot.
Yeah.
Because the parent was an idiot. The kid fell in, right? Kid falls in, hits his head, falls down. Gorilla's like, bro, what are you doing in my cage, man? Right? The kid's like, fuck, I don't even know. I want to leave. And people start freaking out. And the gorilla's like, dude, what's happening? And the kid's like, bro, I don't even know. And then the gorilla's like, dude, I think they want you. I think they're going to hurt you. Right?
Yeah.
Those guys got guns up there, dude. And he stands in front of him, right? Because that's that video where he stands in front of him.
Right.
Then he hears screaming behind him because then the gorilla turns around and it's just like, oh, grabs the kid by the leg and takes off.
And then
Right?
you
gotta go.
Takes off and then
Someone
throws
getting
him
hurt
into
by
the
it.
corner and then covers him again. And then looks around and like people are still freaking out and the gorilla grabs him again and runs to the other corner. The gorilla seemed like he was trying to be like, oh my God, they want to kill you. That's crazy. You're a
You're my
little human.
Tarzan.
Yeah, and was like trying to cover him. Problem is that the gorilla, like you said, doesn't know how to take care of him, so
Yeah.
he kept dragging him like you would probably drag a gorilla baby.
Yeah.
Or maybe a ragdoll.
Or a ragdoll. That was the problem. And unfortunately, the gorilla did have to be killed. There's actually no argument about that. I don't know why there's an argument about whether it was right or wrong to kill the gorilla. I mean, human lives apparently were worth more than animal lives.
To humans.
You can argue that all you want, but given the situation, they did have to kill the gorilla.
Yeah.
There's no morally right choice that lets you kill the child.
Unless you're Tarzan and can speak to gorillas.
Unless you're Tarzan and can speak to gorillas. But I propose this as the reason why there's no morally right way that you would be able to let the child die. Utilitarianism, right? Do you kill the dad or do you kill the babies? Baby, yeah, that's right. Do you kill the dad or do you kill the baby? A utilitarian, Mill, Stephen something Mill. If you followed his ideals, you would kill the baby because
Baby
you can
hasn't
make
really lived a life.
the baby hasn't lived a life. It's because you can make another baby.
Yeah.
You can get another child. You can adopt a child. But the dad likely earns income. Likely is the father to other children. is important to other family members, not just the wife and the child. He's important to other people too. Ideally, this person has more of a family. Now, the child is directly only important to the mom and dad and possible siblings. But that child does not have a full-on extended family that is directly affected by the death of that child. So you kill the child because it causes the least amount of pain, right?
Right.
But the dad causes the most amount of pain by killing him. Now, on the flip side, you can that also works with let's see. There's do you buy a minivan because your family needs more seats, or do you buy? This is where the flaws start in this line of thinking. But this is how a true utilitarian would think, when there aren't any people like that. Or do you buy a sports car because it makes you happier? A utilitarian would buy the sports car because it causes the most amount of pleasure. At first, I wouldn't buy the minivan. But, then you start weighing it. Well, my kids will be happy. Okay, so that's a lot of happiness. Oh, my wife will be happy. That's a lot of happiness too. I'll be mad, but that only accounts for a little bit, that sort of thing. So you gotta have to weigh it like that. But the main thing is it's very id-like. Yeah. You maximize pleasure, you minimize pain. That's the idea behind this thought process. The gorilla? Yeah, it's important. It's important to a lot of people. It's important to PETA. But we can't empathize, right, with the gorilla because we aren't gorillas.
Yeah.
We're humans. So to us, the loss of that child will cause a lot more pain because that child will be seen killed by all the people there, It'll cause pain to the zookeepers, all that stuff, right? Knowing the guilt, knowing they could have saved that kid. You kill the gorilla, it's going to feel weird to the people who killed the gorilla. It's going to suck for the zookeeper. It's going to affect the people who saw the gorilla get killed.
And it might
but we've seen that in movies.
The other animals, too.
Might affect the other animals.
No.
But the thing is like you said, to humans, our happiness weighs more. So in this sense, our happiness is like leagues beyond the pain that would be caused by killing the child or letting the child be killed, which is the equivalent of killing the child.
And the other thing is, it's an animal in captivity. They're not going to have other baby gorillas with the adults
exactly.
Or they would get killed because there's another alpha male that comes in just like a lion.
That's the other thing. It's an animal in captivity. It's not like you killed a wild gorilla. So I count that differently. I know they're endangered, but it was already in captivity. You know what I mean? It's not like you can write it off, but in a sense, it's like it does affect people less. Mm-hmm. The only way it could have been avoided was the kid didn't end up in the cage.
Yeah.
Past that, you can't avoid that. There was no avoiding the gorilla getting killed. Yeah, because that's it.
People can't keep calm with something serious like that. Because if they were to keep calm, maybe that gorilla wouldn't acted that way.
Exactly. If people would have kept calm and they would have, someone's trained to go in there. If there is such a person, someone's trained to go in there and, hey, Magugu, gotta put the kid down, man.
If you're a parent and
there's nobody to keep
your
calm,
fault, you're gonna act, hysterical.
Exactly, which is what caused the gorilla to freak out.
Yeah, and then
I think
there's a reason why it's a shot. And like I forgot this other guy who is a big,
we lost footage, by the way.
He said, "Oh, it's understandable that they shot the animal. It's very understandable." And he's very well known to taking care of, animals and all this other stuff. I forgot his name, but he's pretty big. Wild Jack or something like that, I think his name was.
I thought you were gonna say Steve Irwin. I was like, he's dead.
He's dead. No. His daughter's still alive doing stuff. Well, Dancing with the Stars.
Didn't his wife also do stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Well, in closing, spay and neuter your pets.
Please.
Yeah. Hold your kids. Hold them tight. Don't let them go.
Hide
your kids. Hide your wife.
Did you not learn anything from that video?
Yeah. Anyway. All right. So to the video podcast, I apologize for having lost footage. We've already explained why that happens. To the audio podcast, you didn't miss anything.
No, you didn't.
You didn't. So
video podcast, you would get black.
No, actually, I have something. I have something to put there.
Okay. This is interesting.
Yeah. Go check out one of our old video podcasts. You'll see it. I think the one I did with Isaac, we lost footage, and I put something in. It's pretty funny. And then the one I did with Miguel, we lost footage, and I put something in. It's funny. Anyway, so with that, we will be moving on to our next main topic. So we'll see you guys there. Enjoy the break. Remember the 5th of November. What's on the 5th of November, guys?
Extra Life.
Our Extra Life stream is on the 5th of November, so remember the 5th of November. Dang. Catch our Extra Life stream at twitch.tv/BNP podcast on the 5th of November, and be sure to donate. We'll have the links in the link dump. Thanks. Extra Life, 1, 2, 3, Extra Life, guys. 1, 2, 3,
Extra Life.
So we're back with our next main topic. So
We are.
E3 happened this week.
It did.
Yep.
So we've all been excited for different things and stuff. So we're gonna go over just quickly, real quick, to lead into our next topic, which is nerd entitlement.
Oh.
I say that lovingly. But anyway, we're gonna go over that. But first, so everybody, one game you're excited about, or one game that you were surprised was announced, or you can do one of each. But just quickly, just going over it. So who wants to go
Surprised
first? Go ahead.
by Last Guardian finally coming out. Weirded out by Kojima.
Okay.
Okay. Surprised about Injustice 2.
Okay.
I didn't expect that coming up
Coming up now or coming up at all?
at all.
Did Injustice 1 not sell well, or it just didn't go over
Injustice
very well?
1 was good. It's just, I never thought
It
of
was
them
just,
making another one.
Oh, okay. I
yeah,
see.
it was a good game.
Okay.
Really excited, but a little scared, depending on how the trailer was good. South Park, the fractured butthole.
I feel that we're kind of past the tepidness of South Park as a game, because to be completely honest, the Stick of Truth was great.
Yeah.
So
the
to be
gameplay
fair,
looks good.
Yeah.
For this next one.
I still need to beat the Stick. I think I just give it back to you. I was like, I didn't finish it, but I didn't want to keep your game for like forever.
You could have kept it. I've already gone through it like with all three of them.
Maybe I'll rent it again from the Gus store. I still have. I think it's because I had your Batman game. I still have the Batman game.
You still have all three of them. I have, yeah.
I'm almost done with them though.
Okay.
I've been working through them.
Almost.
All right. Miguel.
Excited to see what Kojima has in store for us.
Okay.
Also excited for Detroit. Detroit looks pretty good.
I did.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, so I am excited for Kingdom Hearts 3, which is not shown at this show. So it is kind of bending the rules, but Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue was shown at this show.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
Which had the 0.2 Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep 0.2 a fragmentary passage,
Oh, gosh.
which is the prologue to Kingdom Hearts 3.0. That looked pretty badass.
This is
you
like
play
the
as
most
Aqua.
you play as Aqua from Birth by Sleep, and it's not the furthest along we've been in the timeline, but her adventure throughout that passage of time, which it's I don't know how long it's supposed to be. I'm assuming maybe 2 hours. Literally is what it's gonna butt up against Kingdom Hearts 3. The furthest along in the timeline is Dream Drop Distance, which is included in that 2.8, but the Aqua's story in this prologue butts up against it. But the important thing is you get a good idea about how Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to play and how it's going to look. It's kind of like Ground Zeroes for Metal Gear Solid 5,
Right.
where it was just like, this is pretty much what we have now, and this is how it's going to look, and then we'll take into any criticism into account. So like they changed like a little bit of how Snake felt to control. So I would assume they're gonna, Square is gonna take the same criticisms. Say if they're like, oh man, she feels a little floaty, or maybe the graphics are just a little off, or some people would prefer something else. If a lot of people say it, I'm sure they still have time to change it, because Kingdom Hearts is not coming out until later this year, right?
Yeah.
They have time to change stuff up until maybe October, right? When does it come out?
Well, it comes out like
Did they say January?
winter-ish.
Oh, winter. Okay, so that's anywhere from January to February,
Yeah.
Yep.
or December to February.
December.
So I mean, up until October, they can change anything, right? And then they can still release anything if they need in a patch.
Don't be a Bethesda.
Bethesda. But I'm saying before the game goes gold, it's
Yeah.
around October, right? So they still have time to tweak things. The game is done. It's just tweaking things is more of the
Yeah.
Or bug squashing or whatever.
bug squashing, yeah. Which I think why they release is just to kind of see what the reception is. Anyway, surprised by Crash Bandicoot HD remastered.
Oh, really?
Skylander one or the...
No,
The
they're
remastered.
remastering 1, 2, and Warped.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually, remake.
Remaking. Yeah, they're not remastering. They're remaking them from the ground up. In
But it'll
a
play
next
just the
gen
same?
engine. It's the exact same game. It's gonna look.
Better, hopefully.
I would assume it's gonna look like a Pixar movie
Okay.
because they
That
can
would be
do
better.
that now. So it's gonna look badass. It's gonna play exactly the same. But they noted it will play exactly as you remember. It will just look tons better, and they're probably gonna maybe, I would assume, fix if there were any glitches at that time, you know. But other than that, they're just remaking it from the ground up.
Patching all the game.
So it's a full remake, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was in between that one and the Spider-Man being exclusive. that tripped me out.
It's
Only
only
on
for PlayStation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was why I was like, oh fuck, that's cool. That's weird. That's like, that was one thing that did surprise me, like truly surprised me, that when it said Spider-Man PS4 only for PlayStation, I was like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah. Is that a console seller for you?
It could be. That game looked badass, but I think it could be because it's an Insomniac game. I'm just like, yeah, they learned so much from Sunset Overdrive. Are they making a Sunset Overdrive too?
I have no idea.
I heard.
But
I hope so. That game is so good.
For me,
I love playing that game.
I just don't understand like console exclusivity anymore. It's just, it doesn't make sense from a business perspective.
We found the PC gamer in the room.
Wow.
How do you feel about Windows 10 exclusive games, Isaac?
I don't like it.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note, we talked about feeling surprised, or maybe things that we might have wanted. I know me and Miguel did talk about things that we would have wanted at the E3 show this year.
Yeah.
What makes you think you're allowed to, like, demand something from an artist?
Shouldn't demand.
We don't.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose as a population we do, because
As a
it's
population we
consumer
do.
demand.
Yeah.
Supply and demand.
However, what they are not required to provide that demand or provide that supply.
But if
But
there's someone else,
but you know, there's people
yeah.
that do think like, man,
Like,
because I want
please.
it, you have to give it, right?
Like.
Well, those people are entitled.
Suck. They're idiots.
Yeah. Leave
Yeah.
my Back to the Future alone. Do
No.
not remake it.
I call this nerd entitlement.
Yeah.
Now, with nerd entitlement, I read this article on Cracked, and the first example they gave, and Jesse from the Third Party Controller podcast will love this. They gave the example of the Star Wars prequels.
Okay.
Now, the author noted the prequels are bad in this author's opinion, and they deserve the hate they get, again, in this author's opinion. However, he noted that the hate was actually unwarranted in terms of saying, you ruined my childhood. You ruined the whatnot, whatever, right?
Right?
Because people didn't love Star Wars for being the beginning. This is all still the author's. I'm paraphrasing the author. People didn't love Star Wars for it being the first part of a 6-part series. They loved it because it was fun, it was good, it was jovial, whatever reason they loved it. But they didn't love it because it was going to be part of this big lore, right? So why did the prequels ruin your experience with the other movies? They don't. They don't. These are bad. These are good. These are still good after these. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Objectively, now Star Wars does have a flip side and a counter argument that the prequels did mess with the movies before, because that's when the special editions came out and they started changing a bunch of stuff.
Oh my god.
So realistically, in this specific case, there is a back argument, but you know, removing that argument from it,
I agree with
objectively,
you,
this didn't affect this.
Right.
Now, let's see. For example, or when J.K. Rowling, she announced that, I can't remember to quote her enough, if she said Dumbledore was homosexual or Dumbledore had homosexual tendencies.
What I remember from her saying anything about that was that
Or
she, had
she
always
would have been intended
it.
him to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go with that, because that seems a good middle ground between the two, and probably the correct one. That made so many people mad, and they were like, you ruined my childhood. It's like, why? Why did it ruin your childhood? Because you didn't picture him that way? But does it change his character at all? Does it change his motivations? I don't think it does. And even if it does, that's the way the author intended it. She doesn't have to make you happy. And Isaac, you offered, there's supply and demand. If she wants money, she has to make us happy. Yes. But there's no construct that she has to make you happy.
Artistic
There's
integrity.
exactly. There is no requirement.
That's her way of entertaining us.
And
I
so,
was like, okay.
Well, it's to give an example, you have Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Characters get killed off all the time. people get upset about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not up to us to decide whether a character lives or dies. It's up to the author and the
Exactly.
screenwriters.
Now
and
the big
whatnot.
thing that's happening with that, I won't get into too much of it. They're done with the books. Well,
They're not done with the books. They're
they
gonna
caught
be
up.
done with the movie. Yeah, the show caught up to the books.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
So
Yeah.
what they're gonna do is, I guess, in the next season, they're gonna be basically following
Make it up as they
like
go
a
along.
prequel or something like that to kind of give him time to.
Oh,
finish the
okay.
books. That's
I
what
hadn't read
heard.
that. Okay, because what I had read was that he gave them kind of like what they did with Scott Pilgrim, where it was just like, this is the sort of ending I'm thinking about right now, and this is kind of the major, like a roadmap, like this is the next exit, and this is the next exit, and this is the next exit along
basically
the
the
interstate.
notes.
Right.
That's pretty much where I am. I don't have anything else in between figured out. That's what I had read. And then they were like, okay, and tossed his notes out the window and just grabbed his ending, and they were like, we'll try to get there. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
That's what I had read. But if they're doing a prequel, if I watched that religiously, I feel that would piss me off. Because
Yeah,
then I would just
because-
be going backwards. And I'd be like, what happened? Like, this is filler.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
would get an entire season of just like flashbacks, and that wouldn't be very.
But then you get those people who read the books or maybe just watched the show. Like, okay, you know what? We understand. You guys have been making a great show. This is a great book or whatever. But then you got the internet, who are a bunch of spoiled.
Whiny assholes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, please shut the fuck up. You sit in your mother's basement, sucking up all of her money, and you don't do shit. Sorry, my swearing, but that's what you are.
Yeah.
You are a stereotypical fat ass.
Nerd.
The thing is, for me, when it comes down to like geek and nerd, the definition for me is kind of someone who has a passion for something. So like, say you're an athlete, has a passion for this sport.
Can we call him for a dork then?
I don't give a
a
shit.
dweeb.
A dweeb.
Shoot. They're a bunch of, that's
They're
nerd
just
about that.
they're keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
Don't make fun of me. I'll have
Yeah.
I'll have Tumblr take you down.
Go ahead. I'll punch you in the face.
Tumblr's gonna be out of date anyways.
Ooh.
Shots fired.
And-
Don't
yeah,
give a shit.
and now where a lot of this stuff does come from, that's good to note, Miguel, is Tumblr. Tumblr has this weird, like,
It's gross. It's
I
icky.
don't understand why that's, and I'm glad it happened to this social network. I don't understand why that social network became the forefront of, like, having idiotic
Social.
fandoms and stupid social ideas, like ideas about society that are,
Like social justice
Idiotic.
warrior,
Yes.
like hub.
I don't know why it happened
bro. Yeah,
there.
PC.
Instead of
Notre Dame.
like Twitter or Instagram or something. I'm not sure why it happened there.
Maybe
God, though.
maybe these people have something in common in the way they like to consume their content or something.
What is a what? Isaac,
how could we
Isaac,
get-
your brother that's a furry. No, not a furry. What's the
Brony?
brony?
Brony.
What is a clop sexual? Does he know?
I don't know if you know.
What did we watch last
We
night?
were watching a cringe compilation that I just
really gotta
found,
hear
and
this.
then some dude, he was like, "I'm tired of the world making fun of us, and what I'm talking about is club sexuals." And
I was like, "What?"
He literally turned around and went,
Guys who were
"What?"
turned
the
on by
f-"
My Little Pony? Is that what it is?
It said clop sexual. I don't know what that means.
I have
Because
no
when I
idea
think
what
of
that
clop,
means.
it's the way a horse
Clop,
like
clop, clop,
walks
clop, clop,
and
clop, clop,
dances
clop.
or
Should I
whatever.
Google this?
I was like,
I'd rather you didn't.
please don't. You probably get that video of that guy who died.
Wait, what?
Gus, to be fair, I don't think you can say it'll bring up that thing where that guy died without explaining it. To be completely fair.
Come on,
Yeah.
Gus. Come on.
Basically, a guy had a horse ram his.
Oh, the
Yeah.
horse banged him.
Yeah,
The
he
horse had
banged
sex
him
with him and he
because the
died,
horse
yeah.
cummed in him. It was so powerful. That's a legit thing.
It was the exact opposite of shitting his brains out. It's the exact opposite. He shit his brains in.
No.
Clop sexuals beware.
Maybe that's what he meant.
That was fun. It was so crazy when I heard that on the news. That happened.
If that's what he meant, then I mean,
This is
Darwinism.
ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
it is ridiculous. That's Tumblr for you. That's the
Tumblr.
world.
that's why I don't use other social media, newer stuff, because it's always
Now-
gonna run out of date.
Back to our entitlement.
What about me, Tomo?
I stopped using
It's
it.
almost different.
Yeah. Well,
I
okay.
fell off of it,
You
actually.
should come back because there's a bunch of Legend of Zelda stuff.
I'm gonna get
Okay.
there.
That's
right
why I
now.
came back.
Hold up.
But I'm waiting for the optimized Miitomo drop so that way I can drop my stuff the exact way because I want to dress up like Link.
Anyway,
So this article went on, you know, and it talked more about entitlement, and it was kind of it sort of explored the ideas of why people feel they should be entitled, and then on connected to that, I was watching a Game Over Greggy show. They were talking about how maybe movies today suck, but they said something really interesting. I think it was Tim Geddes had noted that he really, really loves the Marvel movies, but he doesn't like when people review the movies on their own. And then everybody was like, "What? You're supposed to? That's the point." He was like, "No, they're like TV episodes."
Yeah.
He pictures the Marvel universe being this big, long season of a TV show, and
Right.
each movie is an episode.
Okay.
Because of this is what I know. So I watched Civil War.
So
I watched Age of Ultron.
yeah.
I didn't watch Iron Man 3. I didn't watch Thor 2. I didn't watch Incredible Hulk. Who else had movies? That's it, right? Oh, I didn't watch Thor 1. So I don't know those stories.
Yeah.
But I was able to jump. I have seen Iron Man 1, 2, Captain America. So after that, I watched Winter Soldier. I watched Age of Ultron, and I watched
I think Winter
Civil
Soldier's
War.
the only one I didn't watch.
Yeah, so those are the three movies I watched very recently, really close to each other. I totally got the story. Oh, and I watched a lot of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
I totally got the story of the three movies, no problem, while still having missed those extra movies, right? So he was noting that, like, you know, that's how he thinks of the movies is one long, like, season. And then everybody else kind of disagreed with him because, I mean, they're movies. They still have to tell a complete story from beginning to end. You can't just, like, stop, you know?
An
they're
episode
based-
can tell an arc.
An episode can tell an arc, but a movie
Has to
to
tell-
be a stop point, like how do you even tell your audiences that, oh, this movie's a filler? You don't need it. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. I like the Captain America movies the best. The Captain America movies have never felt like that to me, but I know Iron Man 2 kind of did. Iron Man 2 was just like,
Nah.
you know, that's how I felt. And I know I started watching Thor 2, and I was just like,
I wasn't a big fan of that one.
But the thing that they were noting is like they start arcs and don't finish them, right? I think it's Age of Ultron where Thor walks into like some water, and he gets a picture in his head about the Infinity Stones. They never bring that shit up again. The only other time you hear about it like in length is Guardians of the Galaxy, but in Avengers they never brought it up again. And I'm annoyed by that because I'm like, that is so stupid. Just take it out. What's the point? Why are you doing this? Why are you setting it up like right now? Or where I get upset at them having announced like 20 movies in the next 10 years, you know, like up until 2020. I get so annoyed because I feel that my experience is being undercut by the fact that I already know exactly what's going to happen in every movie. Like I have a vague idea of what's going to happen in every movie because Captain America has Civil War.
Yeah.
We know Spider-Man's coming out. Well, I guess we know that Spider-Man's not going to get injured at all here, you know, anywhere here. Oh, the real heroes really can't lose in Infinity War 1 because Infinity War 2 is coming out the year later. Black Panther, oh, he's probably going to be in Infinity War because he has another movie right after. You know what I mean? No, like, that was the implication between Civil War. I was dreading watching it because I already knew, well, Black Widow probably can't die because Black Widow got confirmed to get her own movie. Black Panther can't die. Spider-Man can't die. Iron Man's not going to die.
Yeah.
They already signed him. Oh, they signed so-and-so for so long. Hey, he still has 2 more movies. Yeah, there's no more Captain America movies, but he still has 2 movies. Well, he can't die. I was just like, why do you need to give us so much information? Yeah. That's me being entitled about, like, my experiences being, you know, broken down. But at the same time, where did this information come from? It's because people kept asking and being angry about not knowing how long these people were signed for their contracts, their whole list of movies. Because people asked for that, Disney gave it. That was what caused
They're
the
basically
issue.
getting bullied. Now
The company's getting bullied to give this information, and I think it's going to work towards their downfall eventually.
And the other thing
It's
is
like overload.
I watched Civil War.
I wouldn't really know much because like I stopped watching the Marvel movies
At
right
Avengers?
after at Avengers.
Yeah.
I'm done.
You see, the flip side of that is the Marvel universe works so well where you could just jump in. You could go watch Civil War right now, and you'd just be like, man, that was a really good movie. I get what's going on, you know?
Right.
because you watched Avengers.
Unless you're one of those people who read comic books, because you know that Spider-Man doesn't live in the comic book of Civil War. He dies. In the,
Spoilers.
See, but the problem with
because it's a different universe, kind of.
Yeah, it's a different universe.
So they did like, we don't want to kill off Spider-Man.
We just got him.
Yeah, we just got him.
Now the thing though about Civil War specifically is that they were like, it has major implications for the whole universe, and it's like it did.
But
Wait, you haven't seen Civil War, huh?
Nope.
You have seen it?
I've seen it.
And you see it. Okay, spoiler alert for Civil War. When Tony Stark gets the phone and Captain America's just like, call me when you need me. Where was the major implication that the Avengers are still there? They're still going to operate. What was the major implication?
Just
Nothing
under the
happened.
government.
There was this big ass fight, and it's like, it's the same. It's the same. We just live in different houses.
Yeah.
That's like a divorce
A divorce.
where you live next door, and there's no fence between your houses.
Yeah.
What was the point?
And the thing with superhero movies, like I always, I grew up with them and everything, and I know the whole.
Yeah, Gus knows a ton.
The storyline or whatever. Yeah, good guy gets knocked on his ass a few times. Blah 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 blah. Oh, at the end he wins. Yeah. And it's like we already know, even though we know what's gonna happen. But if you're one of those comic book people who kind of know the stories, they are gonna throw some stuff out like Spider-Man dying in Civil War, because they just got him or whatever.
Keep going.
All right, and it's pretty. Even when they announce all those movies that are coming out, we kind of know what's gonna happen, even without knowing what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
like the announcements of the new movie.
And you see, what's funny though is that people beg for these announcements. They beg to know when the movies are coming out, and then they get mad when too many things get told, or they're like, "That's not what I want to happen." It's like, this isn't your movie.
I think this is exactly what happened with Bethesda. I think.
With Fallout?
With Fallout 4.
Yeah.
They had nothing announced, and they didn't announce it till I think 2 months in advance or something.
Not even then. It was like, remember, it was like weeks?
Yeah.
They announced that the game was releasing, but they didn't show anything until, remember, they had that please stand by, and then all of a sudden it played the trailer?
Yeah.
And then it was like, yeah, that game's coming out in a couple months. That was it. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was around that time, right? When they did that?
But that seemed to me like it built up the hype for it so much more.
Oh yeah,
people were very disappointed,
and that worked.
Yeah,
and I think people are disappointed because they bought a last gen game that looks like a new gen game.
Yeah, see, the thing is like,
do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's the main thing with Fallout specific. But who are we to be like, man, I really wanted them to do a new engine.
Yeah.
It's like you still bought it. You still bought it.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Yeah, enjoy it for what it is because they made that.
Like
you are not the boss of them. Are you a shareholder? No. Yeah. Their shareholders might have been like, "Hey, you don't have enough money to make a new engine."
Yeah. Like
we don't want to take that
some
risk.
Bad games, but I still had fun playing them.
Mm-hmm.
Like Turning
Point. Or
Point.
maybe it had nothing to do with the money. Maybe it had something to do with making it modder friendly or something. Yeah. So I mean, there's a whole bunch of decisions that go into that.
Minecraft is doing mods now because they get kind of bullied into it.
But now the argument for the modder friendly though on Fallout is that I feel that's a cop out for not having moved to a new engine.
Yeah, you could make a tool for it.
You can make a toolkit because they have a toolkit for the other one, but it's just like, let's just use the same thing because it works. But it's like, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that would be using the argument, if it's not broke, don't fix it. The engine is broken. Yeah, it's always been broken.
There's always bugs.
Yeah, so it's never. That's not even the right argument to use for that. That's more or less just like, yeah, we didn't want to do it.
And it's funny
but I'm just presenting.
Yeah, but they're presenting the case. However, I did hear that Far Harbor was amazing.
Oh,
Far Harbor.
That's what I have heard.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Age of Empires
in some pieces.
3. My dad and I, we play that game a lot.
Uh-huh.
Now, one of the things that we talked about is the gameplay for online. It's different than the regular single player when we play on landline because they're using the same engine because it's so much better than the newest one from Age of Empires 2. That's the best one, and people would actually go back, and that's one of the huge complaints was why are you guys going back to 2 and everything? But I was like, it was a much better
Well, that was much similar to like what when Medal of Honor came out. The story mode I thought was good. I thought it was a good game. But what they did, well, this is the newest Medal of Honor, not Warfighter, but the one right before that.
Okay.
It was a good game, but they used a proprietary engine for the game, and then they used Frostbite 2 for the multiplayer, and the multiplayer was developed by DICE, and so it played just like Battlefield.
Right.
And people were upset because it didn't play like the game, the story mode. So your skill, like, that's what story modes are in FPS, is they're like training modes.
Right.
They didn't transfer over because the game played differently.
Right.
But going back to entitlement, like, these devs, these directors, these writers, these artists don't owe you anything.
Yeah.
They're making the entertainment for their enjoyment. Even if they're asking for your money, they don't owe you a good experience. That's on you.
These are people who love making video games.
Yeah.
And they want to do a good job.
Yeah, or they love
themselves.
making movies. They love making music. Like, they don't owe you anything. Even if you pay for it, they don't owe you an enjoyable experience because enjoyment is subjective. They don't owe you shit.
You could even go like even way back, I suppose. Like
Aristotle
Renaissance.
didn't owe anybody anything.
No, I was going Renaissance.
Oh, okay.
Like, you could commission an artist to paint you a picture, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the painting that he was going to give you was going to be any good or that you would like it.
Yeah, pretty much. But back then you could murder an artist for that. You can't really do that now.
Well, I mean, Leonardo didn't give any like care for.
He made us think.
That's true.
Why isn't she smiling? Let's put a smile on that face.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, the artist doesn't owe you anything. The person doesn't owe you anything. They don't owe you anything for your support. That's like, that's your. I like to think that when you purchase a movie, when you purchase an album, when you purchase something, you're like, what would it be called? When you give an artist money, there's a specific verb.
Donating?
No. Endorsing. It's with an E.
With an E.
Facilitating. There are, I don't know, but it's a specific verb that's used for like when you're supporting an artist, of whatever sort. But you're supporting them because you like what they do, or I know one example used in the article was music, right?
Mm-hmm.
You support this artist, and then you get mad when they get signed to a label, and you don't want to support them anymore.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. The artist needs to be able to feed themselves. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they sign this major label, they change their music a little bit. But what? They're like,
Does
oh,
that
I'm not gonna support you anymore because you signed to a major label. It's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, is it because they feel like it changes their
Like
music?
they sold out. Yeah, even if they did change their music, just don't listen to them.
Or I mean, even then that'd be an extreme example. I would feel like you would have to then judge their music. Like, did it make their music any less good?
Yeah.
So do you like not like their music anymore, just on its own, without considering if it had been signed or whatever? Does that, from a musically critical perspective, does that make the music suck?
Exactly.
If it doesn't, then whatever.
Yeah. Like me, I'm a big Foo Fighters fan. I'm always gonna follow them. I don't care who they send. They've always made great music.
Yeah.
Their latest, I guess they released an EP. That was really good.
Yeah.
Their last album, even though it was like a TV show, great songs and everything about each city.
But like, say you go to a concert and they don't sing your favorite song. Do you get mad?
No.
Exactly. Because
I
we're not
don't think-
entitled assholes. There are people that get mad.
I don't think Coheed has ever played the Gravity's Union song.
Yes, they have.
At a concert. They have? I haven't seen that. So.
Yeah.
Why would they never play it?
Like most concerts, they usually promote the newest
Yeah,
album.
they did. It was when that album came out and they toured it. They did a Never Ender for that album. They actually did the part 1 and 2 to that album. What was it? The Ascension and Dissension.
Yeah.
They did both of them as a concert before when the albums came out.
Yeah.
Like when the second one came out after.
I haven't heard the concert version of the...
And then Number City too. They sang that song. It's good live. They did it with Thank You Scientists here in Riverside,
Whoa.
and the jazz section was live. It was just like doo, 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 doo.
That must have been pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really.
Yeah, it's
Anyway.
like when you go to a concert,
They don't owe
they're-
you anything.
They're
They
basically doing their latest album. They're trying to promote that one. Yeah, they'll play a few songs from their past, but they're there to really
Yeah.
endorse that primary album that just came out.
and they don't owe you anything. That you're there for your enjoyment, and if you
They're
don't
there for
enjoy
their
it,
enjoyment
it's
too.
not their fault.
I
You
mean,
know?
you're basically just a patron.
There you go. When you're patronizing is like, it's used correctly when you're like, man, you're being patronizing. But it's like when you're patronizing on artists, you're assisting them, right, in making their art. You're being a patron.
You're giving them money because you believe that whatever product or whatever outcome that comes out from giving that is better than not having given them anything.
Exactly. What it actually comes into is similar to Kickstarter.
Yeah. There's no guarantee that
there's
you'll-
no guarantee that you're gonna get it, and they really don't owe you that thing, because you gave your money knowing that something might not come of it.
Yeah.
Or people who donated to Bernie Sanders, I donated to you and you didn't even make it. It's like, he didn't guarantee you he was going to make it, and he didn't owe you anything even if he did make it. You donated your money of your free will.
Because you believe.
Because you believed in it. You know what I mean? That's that sort of thing. Or people when they not gamble, when they invest in things, like, you find entitlement everywhere.
Yeah.
Or when people are like, oh, I'm so-and-so, you should respect my position. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to respect your position,
Investing may be a little different.
Yes and no, but you're gambling. You're not being entitled to anything unless it's written in a contract.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, say I invest, there's people that'll invest in like Apple, like right before an iPhone comes out, and then the iPhone comes out and maybe the stocks don't increase, and they're like, man, you owe me that. It's like, why do I owe you that?
Yeah.
It depends what type of investing. Like the ones with the contracts, that's where you owe someone.
Well,
The
yeah,
ones that don't
that's a
contract,
full
different.
on, like, here's 50 G's.
Yeah.
Invest in
Or here's $1
bits and
million.
pieces.
Yeah.
Do this by the end of the 5 years.
Yeah.
But if you don't do
But
it,
even then, I mean, they don't owe it to you. They can possibly fail, and yes, they are required to do it, but there's still no guarantee of it. Other than the contract. But that company could fail before that. So that too, there's a lot of entitlement that I think is unwarranted in the world, and it's making our media worse.
Like, I think I've been seeing stuff for Saints Row 5. Like, people are really, like, I've seen some crazy stuff like, oh, when are you guys going to make this? Or it's like, I don't think anybody's going to make it or touch it. Like, who's the one to make it?
I don't think anyone's going to. Volition has made every single one of them, but THQ funded
was the main source of
3.
it. Yeah, they made 3.
The ones that funded 4 was Deep Silver.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was
They're not
worth
gonna
it
do
to them
another
to
one.
make a 5th one yet. I think they're going to wait for a while because
Yeah.
they don't need to make one yet. You
No.
know what I mean? Like, I think they need to wait a while because
The market's oversaturated.
yeah, with
But you're
those
gonna
type
get
of
those
games and
people
stuff.
saying, "When are you gonna make another one?
It's
Are you
like,
gonna make
why,
motherfucker, please make another one."
Yeah, or like with Grand Theft Auto, it's like I think a lot of people wanted Grand Theft Auto or Rockstar to come in with something new for Grand Theft Auto, and it was like they're making their money with online. They
The
don't
big
need-
one was that people wanted to hear was Red Dead 2.
Yeah, they don't
don't
owe
have to
you
do-
to make a Red
That
Dead
game
2.
was great. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. It's like a
I would rather not have a Red Dead 2. I would just maybe something that revisited the Western era, but not a Red Dead 2. I would rather they leave it.
I've been wanting like another like World War II or World War One game, and I'm like, okay, I don't mind.
Battlefield 1.
Battlefield 1 is like, I didn't really expect this. At the same time, I was like, I'm kind of interested because I've always liked the old, World War One and 2 games.
Yeah.
I would always go back to playing Call of Duty.
It's
2
funny
and
they
1.
did a throwback when everyone else is looking forward.
Yeah, I was like, I'm actually really happy about this.
They're playing chess while we're all
Sort of.
playing checkers.
Yeah.
They're playing the billionaire game.
They're playing
while-
mahjong while we're all playing Tetris, dude.
or the
Different-
things that
They're
Kanye
playing
said.
Tetris
Sudoku.
cool.
They're playing
Tetris cool.
Sudoku when we're crosswording.
Like that thing that Kanye said, and they're playing the $1 billion game while we're playing the $1 million game.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Anyway,
Kanye.
once again, this is the Bits and Pieces podcast, and we bring you random things from around the globe. We're globetrotters here.
We bring fruits.
Yeah,
And news
We come
only.
bearing fruits and news.
yeah, and news. So we are the Bits and Pieces podcast, and So this has been our little topic, off topic on entitlement and a bunch of other random stuff. Anyway, we will be taking another break, and we will see you on the next one. And this has been episode 54 of the Bits and Pieces podcast once again. We are on shoutengine.com/the BNP podcast, or it's just BNP podcast. Shoutengine.com/BNP podcast. Search us on YouTube for the video edition at YouTube, and then just search the BNP podcast. We got a lot of stuff up there. We got Let's Plays, which we are probably going to record one today. We have BNP reviews. We've got our video podcast, and we've got our Extra Life campaign, which please check out at bit.ly/BNP team to see everyone participating on the Extra Life campaign. And be sure to check out our Extra Life videos at bit.ly/BNP Extra Life videos, and visit extra-life.org for more information on the organization and Children's Miracle Network hospitals, and to find one in your area. So yeah, we had a good episode today, guys.
Nick,
it was nice to have
please
everybody
go like
together.
this.
Oh yeah,
For the kids.
for the kids.
Whoop,
Whoop whoop. All right, let me just, I might as well just get in front of the camera here.
Super Nick.
There we go.
The beach is that way.
This is gonna go on a cringe.
Is that way? The beach is that way? Is that way?
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry, everyone.
Now then, with the beach being that way, we will exit stage left. And this has been episode 54 of the BNP podcast. Please catch us for more. I am your host, Nick, as always, joined with my co-hosts,
Miguel.
Gus.
And Isaac.
and we will see you guys on the next one. Please comment, like, share,
Subscribe.
subscribe
Tell
for
your friends.
more.
Foam out.
For more BNP podcast. And we'll see you guys in episode 55.